Hello, I'm Peter Wiggins and welcome to Boston. A look back at the stories of 1948. As I found this article in the Boston Globe from New Year's Day 1949, Saturday, January 1st, 1949. The Democrats and heavy snows made the biggest local stories in 1948. President Truman and the Democratic state candidates snowed under the Republican opponents in Massachusetts as deeply as Old Man Winter blanketed this area on the fallen totals a record 89.1 inches in Boston and proper and 136 inches in the suburbs. Everyone and everything seemed to be trying to set new records. The cost of living in the Bay State, Texas, in Massachusetts reached an all-time peak. Boston had the second-highest food prices in the country last summer. The hub reached its biggest tax rate, $53.40 a thousand, while Newburyport had a state record with $87. Television made its Boston debut, but the stations were BZ, Channel 4 in Boston, and WNEC TV Channel 7 in Boston. And practically simultaneously, the Boston Braves won the NL pennant and lost the World Series. The Red Sox almost turned the pennant-winning trick in the American League in their playoff game with Cleveland here was rated by many as better than any World Series oil game. The oil shortage threatened New Englanders again last winter, and train commuters had more their share of excitement when with labor troubles in the coal fields and on the railroads. The old colony threatened to quit. The MTA itched to put them all out of business, and the New Haven changing hands. Boston faced appeals for a city manager form of government. Sufficient citizens signed a petition to win a chance to vote on a charter charge in 1949. Local Irish Americans welcome visits from an old friend, former Premier of Eire, Eamon de Valera, and a new one, the new Irish Prime Minister John A. Costello. Boston Catholics, some 400 of them were led by Archbishop Richard J. Cushing on their first pilgrimage to Rome since before World War II. Fashioning a meteoric career as a record buster and full of municipal corruption, Assistant Attorney General Judge Fingal cleaned up Fall River and teamed up with the state detectives and Chelsea District Judge John W. McLeod to give river rackets a bad time. Parking meters came to Boston to chew up the nickels which could use to be buy a good cigar or a cup of coffee. A record number of automobiles, over 1 million of them, were on Massachusetts highways, but registered King's boys aided and abetted by police managed to keep the Bay State death toll to one of the few fatalities then in 1947. Boston's Boyce J. Tobin, former governor and mayor, became the first cabinet officer from these parts in the dog's age. He accepted President Truman's appointment as the Secretary of Labor, following a pattern set by Secretary of State Marshal, United Nations Secretary General Trygve Lie chose the Harvard Convention as which to recommend the UN have a police force. Ex-United States Chief Justice Charles Evans Hughes, who lost the presidency to Woodrow Wilson in 1916 and one of the contest's closest finishers. Down in Northville at the age of 86, an earth-shaking explosion and fire in a Waltham chemical plant took 5 lives and seriously burned many others. A flash fire in the Cambridge mansion of H. Allen Gregg Jr. Somerville manufacturer took his life and that of his 4 children and his wife in an explosion and blaze at the South Everett plant at the Boston Consolidated Gas Company killed 1 man and did $3 million in damage. Frederick Peck, a 19-year-old former choir boy of the Episcopal Bishop Raymond A. Huron, entered the choir boy. Paul Zeka, 17, and then Bishop Bolton's home, murdered, threatened the bishop. He was sentenced to the electric chair. Ex-convict and former employee of her father, kidnapped but did not harm. Charlotte O'Brien, 19, of Concord, Vermont, had kept her for several days in a house was only a stone's throw from her home. The body of Ruth Osberg, a missing Newark, New Jersey nurse, was found in a shallow grave at Sispy, New Hampshire. 30 airline passengers at an air escape from death jumped into snow drifts at Logan International Airport when an airliner plowed into the bank of last winter's heavy snow and burst into flames. Margaret Chase Smith became Maine's and the Republican Party's first woman senator after many efforts. John F. Knoxon, Pittsfield attorney convicted of slaying his defective child, was voted parole by the governor and council. Asinov Director Miriam Van Waters was recommended governor of Bradford by the following investigation of the women's reformatory bill was put over for action by incumbent Governor Paul A. Dever. A strike of 4,500 AFL truck drivers required Bradford's intervention. The carefully planned and executed $50,000 smoke bomb was robbery of the Harvard Co-op was followed by a spice and old-fashioned money snatch at the tech co-op. Dennis C. Haley was named Boston School Superintendent to replace retiring Arthur L. Gould. A Malden girl was sentenced for the murder of her GI husband in Germany. Kosovitsky announced his retirement as music director of the Boston Symphony Orchestra, and Charles Bunch was named to sing them. Children's Hospital made great strides against acute leukemia attacks in children. Preliminary work toward building a new Mississippi River bridge caused great hardship to citizens of Chelsea and Charlestown families forced to find new homes. A $36 million state outlay program, the largest in Massachusetts history, has begun. The Boston Marathon ended in a scuffle between winner Cote and runner Vogel. Building was a new $3.7 million ocean terminal for the Port of Boston, while Cambridge City Council took 4 months to pick a mayor for that city. The Old Colony Railroad postponed discontinuance of the service from last October 1st to next March the 1st at the behest of Governor Bradford. Harvard appointed the first woman professor, Ellen Montcalm, and the state Supreme Judicial Court upheld by the United States Supreme Court ruled Boston and had the right to dig the 35-room car underneath the underground garage beneath the Common. The MTA had made many headlines and ran up a $9 million deficit. Quincy and Braintree cited citizens' votes to plus against the MTA extending its rapid transit service to them. A plane crash in France took the life of Lady Kathleen Hardin and daughter of Boston's Joseph P. Kennedy. Proposed increases in MTA made headlines, and a local campaign issued in the gubernatorial fight along the MTA fares. Robert H. Best was tried for treason, and local Italian Americans helped beat the communists in the Italian elections by writing letters to friends in that country. In recent days, 1948 tried to establish two different kinds of winter records by coming up with a heat wave. Okay, the top 10 best local stories of 1948 in the judgment of the Globe editors were: number 10, Knox on Parole; number 9, Visits of Del Valle and Costello; number 8, local tax increases; number 7, Catholic pilgrimage to Rome; number 6, Tobin's appointment as labor secretary; number 5, Riviera Records investigation trials; number 4, MTA transportation crisis; number 3, Boston Braves pennant victory; number 2, record snowfall; and number 1, Democratic landslide elections. And that's going to be it for the Boston Looking Back at 1948. I'm Peter and hope you have a happy New Year. Bye-bye for now. Where?